Shri Sainath Stavan Manjari by Ganu. A humble tribute of praise to Shri Sainath. I bow down to Shri Ganesh, O Mayureshwara, you are the one on whom we depend, O Son of Gauri, the all-knowing, O you inconceivable one, you with an immeasurable belly, protect me, O Shri Ganapati. You are the first and foremost of all the Ganas and of all the deities, therefore you are called Ganesh. You are acknowledged by all the Shastras, you of sacred countenance, O Balachandra. O Sharada, goddess of speech, you are the mistress of the realm of words. Because of your existence, all worldly transactions are carried on. You are the deity revered by all authors. You are eternally the pride of this nation. Your infinite power prevails everywhere. I bow to you, Jagadamba. You are the supreme spirit and beloved of the saints, incarnation in human form of Pandhariraya. You are the ocean of kindness and infinite compassion, O Panduranga and Narahari. You who control the world like a puppeteer with his strings, you are omnipresent. All the sciences and sacred books are still delving to plump the essence of your nature. Those who are pedagogues, to them you are not revealed. O Chakrapani, all those foolish people only indulge in the jugglery of words. Only the saints understand you, others remained baffled. To you, my respectful obeisance, with my whole body prostrate in veneration before you. O you five-headed Shankara, O you wearer of garland of skulls, O you blue-throated Digambara, O you Omkar Rupa Pashupati. One who recites your name all the time, his worldly adversities are immediately dissolved. Such is, O Durjati, the power of your name. With obeisance at your feet, I am writing this pain of praises. Help me always to complete this mission, O you Nilakantha, the blue-throated one. Now let me bow down to the son of Atri, to the family deity of Indra, to Tukaram and all other saints, so also to all the devotees. Hail, hail to you, Sainatha, Redeemer of sinners and merciful one. I lay my head down at your feet. Now give me your protection. You are the whole world, the abode of bliss. You yourself are Vishnu, the paragon among men. One whose wife is Uma. You are also that enemy of Cupid. You are God in human form. You are the sun in the sky of knowledge. You are the ocean of kindness. You are the antidote for worldly maladies. You are the Chintamani of the poor and the downtrodden. You are the divine purifier for your devotees. You are the raft for those drowning in worldliness. You are the refuge of the timid. You are the very cause of this creation, that which is pure Chaitanya. You are that, O very treasure of compassion. The universe is only one of your LEELAS. You are not born. Death also does not affect you. This is a final conclusion which one arrives at after a thoughtful search. Birth and death, these concepts are born of ignorance. From both you are free, O Lord, of course. If water appears as a spring, does it imply that its source is there? It existed already full and flesh, merely sprang up from within the earth. Water that springs up in a hollow is therefore so described or named. A spring becomes its proper name. Without the water, it is only a hollow bed. To spring up and to dry up and disappear, this is not the nature of water, because the water of the spring has no importance for the hollow bed it fills. It is only the hollow bed that is mistakenly proud of itself, rather than the water that filled it. Therefore, when the water dries up, the hollow bed becomes impoverished. The human body is really like the hollow water bed. The spirit is like the pure, clean water of the spring. Although there are innumerable such hollow beds, the essence is the same in everyone. Therefore you who are without a beginning, I say to you, merciful one, to destroy the mountain of ignorance, please become the thunderbolt of Indra. Until now, such hollows have existed in large numbers on this earth. Many more exist even now, and in the future, many more will come. Each such hollow is given a separate name and appearance. That is how in this world they are identified. Therefore, to distinguish that spirit in terms of you and me is not proper, because as there is no duality, that itself is most surely the spirit. And since the spirit truly encompasses the whole world, then the you and me duality concept, how can it possibly be entertained? Water latent in the clouds is all the same, but when it descends upon the earth, it assumes different forms. That which falls in the Godavari bed is known as the River Godavari. That which falls into a well does not have the same worthiness of prestige. Saints are the River Godavari, and you are the water in it. We are the puddles, wells, and lakes. That is a difference between us. For the fulfillments of our lives, we must surrender to you always with folded hands, because you are the embodiment of piety. It is due to its waterbed that the waters of Godavari have become holy. Considered merely as water, it's the same everywhere. The bed of Godavari that is considered as truly sacred owes all its sanctity to the quality of the land through which it flows. The water latent in the clouds does not alter that part of the earth on which it falls, yet that very part of the earth is called Godavari by the scholars of the sacred books. Where the water has fallen elsewhere, it has acquired the qualities of the soil of those places. Contaminated, bitter, salty, it becomes, though originally sweet. Same is the case with you, O Guruvara, in whom there is no impurity of the 6 vices. To that holy form, this title saint is befitting. Therefore, saints are Godavari, so full of grace. Amongst all the beings, your place is the highest. From the beginning of creation, Godavari has been in existence. It has been full of water, and it has never lacked it till today. Look, the enemy of Ravan came to the banks of the Godavari, but its water has flowed, and the water at present is not the same as old water. The bed alone remains the same. The water has flowed into the ocean. The sanctity is eternal of the riverbed to this day. Each year, the old waters go, and the new flow into the riverbed. It's a law, as you know. A century is like a year. The sages of that century are like the flowing waters, while the great souls are like the waves on the water. Of these saints who are like Godavari in the early centuries, there was a great flood of Sanath, Sanak, Sanandan, followed by Narada and Dumbara, Dhruva, Prahalad, powerful King Bali, Shabari, Angad, Vayukumar, Vidur, and Krishna's cowherd companions. Thus many came the present time in each of the centuries in the past. The floods came repeatedly, which I am unable to recount. In this present century, the sacred Godavari has for certain flooded this land in your form, O Sainath. Therefore, at your divine feet, I make obeisance. Maharaj of my faults, take no notice, I plead. I am a poor, wretched, ignorant man, the greatest of sinners, ridden with vices, but do not cast me off. The inherent defects of iron are ignored by parisa. The small streams of the village, Lendi and Ahol, are not rejected by the Godavari. I am full of vices within. By your merciful glance, do quickly destroy them. This only is the plea of Das. If after coming in contact with the parisa, the iron's inherent defects do not change Guruvara, then it is to the discredit of the parisa. Don't let me be a sinner. Don't belittle yourself. Look, you are the parisa. I am the iron. My discharge is your concern too. A child always commits mistakes, but a mother does not scold. Remembering this, grant me your grace. O Satguru Sainath, you are my Kalpadru. You are the means for crossing this worldly ocean. You alone are so undoubtedly. You are Kamadhenu, you are Chintamani. You are the sun in the sky of knowledge. You are the great mine of virtues. Oh, you are the ladder to heaven. O pious, purest one, O embodiment of peace and bliss, O the Supreme Self, O the non-dual one and the ocean of knowledge. O Incarnation of the Supreme Wisdom, the best among men, O abode of forgiveness and peace, O refuge of devotees, bless me, bless me. You are the Satguru Machinder, you are the Mahatma Jalandhar, you are Nivritinath, Dhyaneshwar, Kabir, Sheikh Mohammed, Eknath, you are. You are Bodhala, you are Savatamali, you are truly Ramdas, you are Tukaram Sainatha, you are Saka, you are Manik Prabhu. Your present manifestation and your manifold nature are really difficult to understand. The knowledge about your caste and creed you do not reveal to anybody. Some say you are Muslim, some say you are Brahmin. Thus, like Krishna, you too are inscrutable. Having observed Sri Krishna, different people called him by various names. Some called him Yadubhushan, some called him a cowherd. Yashoda called him a darling, Kansa called him the great evil, Uddhav called him beloved, Arjun called him omniscient. Thus, O Guruvara, to you, according to each person's conclusion, based on his mental attitude, names are given by them. The masjid being your dwelling, and your ears not being pierced, noting your offering the Fatiha, to call you a Muslim is logical. Similarly, considering the worship of fire as done by you, Lord of Mercy, my own conclusion is that you are a Hindu. But these superficial differences would interest only pedagogues, but for those devotees desirous of knowledge, they are of no consequence. You are Brahma itself. Caste and creed have no relevance to you. You are the Guru Supreme. You are the creator of this world. There was Hindu-Muslim rivalry. Therefore, to bring about unity and amity, the masjid and the fire worship were embraced by you to show your Leela to the devotees. You are beyond caste and creed. You are Brahman, the essence to truth. You are that verily. You are beyond human conception. Giving free rein to surmises and conjectures, arguments have flourished about you. There, my insignificant words, how will they prevail? But when I behold you, I cannot remain silent, because for encomium, words are normally the only means. Therefore, by means of words, whatever description is possible, that I will always proffer with your grace. Saints I reckon higher than gods, for distinctions such as mine and thine find not a place in their proximity. Hiranyakashipu and Ravana were killed because of their hatred of God. Such a deed has never been done by saints. Gopi Chand, in the heap of garbage, buried Jalandhar, but that sage had no rancor for that act. On the contrary, the king was delivered from the material world and was immortalized. Such is the prowess of the saints. It is indescribable. Saints are the sun. Their grace is illuminating. Saints are as pleasing as the moon. Their beingness is as gentle as moonlight. Saints are the soothing musk. their blessings are like its fragrance. Saints are the juicy sugarcane, their blessings are like its sweetness. Saints towards the good and the bad are the same definitely. On the contrary, their love for the sinners is immeasurable. In the waters of the Godavari, only the soiled clothes comes to be cleansed. The clean ones in a trunk remain far from the Godavari banks. Even that which remained in the trunk came once to be cleansed thoroughly on the Godavari banks. The trunk is the eternal abode. You are the Godavari. Unshakable faith is the ghat. All beings are the garments, full of the impurities, comprising the 6 vices. The darshan of your feet is like a bath in the Godavari. Wash away my sins, O Samarth, and purify me. We worldly people gather layers of impurities again and again. Therefore, we are the right people for the darshan of saints. In the abundant waters of the Godavari comes the wash to be cleansed at the ghats. If it is really left unattended, then it is a discredit to the Godavari. You are the cool, shady tree with abundant foliage. We are the travelers, really, suffering from the scorching sun rays of the threefold calamities of life. From that blazing heat, O compassionate one, protect us, O Guruvara. The benign grace of your cool shade is extraordinary. Sitting under a tree, if one feels the heat of the sun, then who will call that tree the shade-giving tree? Look, without your grace, nothing can be right in the world. Sheshashayi befriended Arjuna to uphold the right. Due to the kindness of Sugriv, Vibhishana came in contact with King Ram. It is due to the saints that Sri Hari is thus glorified. Brahman being formless, Vedas cannot describe it. By undoing it with forms, the saints have reduced the importance of the formless. Vaikuntapati, husband of Rukmini, was made a mahar by Damaji to pick up corpses of buffaloes. Chokamela made Jagadatma slag. Knowing the prowess of saints, Jagjivan labored by carrying the water. Saints have truly lorded over God Himself, whose eternal truth, knowledge, bliss. There is no need to speak more. You are our mother and our father, O Satguru Sainatha, dweller of Shirdi village. Baba, your Leelas no one can truly comprehend. Then my plebeian speech, how can it do justice, tell me? To save the sinners you came to Shirdi, pouring water into earthen lamps, you made them burn. The wooden plank of absurdly small measure you turned into your hanging bed truly, thereby displaying to the devotees your amazing yogic powers. The bareness of many women you have completely dispelled. The diseases of many you have cured with the Udi. To ward off worldly difficulties, it is not impossible for you. The weight of an ant does the elephant consider as a burden? So be it, Gururaya. Have mercy on this humble one. I surrender at your feet. Do not turn me away. You are the King of kings. You are richer than Kuber himself. You are the healer par excellence. No one is superior to you. For the worship of other deities, the ritual is as prescribed, but for your worship, there is nothing worthy of you. Look, in the realm of the sun, the festival of Deepavali has come, but to celebrate it, what shall be the means? To quench the ocean's thirst, adequate water cannot be found on earth. To warm the fire, from where will the heat be found? All articles needed for the worship are filled with your essence. From the beginning, they are part of you, O Shri Samartha Gururaya. All my talk is a philosophical statement, for I have not experienced its truth. I have spoken without experience, a meaningless maze of words. If a ritualistic worship of you is to be performed by me, tell me, To do that, I have not the wherewithals, my Samartha Gururaya. Mostly with the help of my imagination only will I worship you. That worship itself, O compassionate one, do accept from this slave. Now with my loving tears I bathe your feet. The sandalwood of true devotion I make into paste and apply. The long tunic of these ornamental words I place on you sincerely. This garland of adoration I place round your neck. The incense of vileness I burn before you truly. Though it is of an impure composition, even then there will be no foul odor from it. Elsewhere than before the Satguru, if incense is burnt, what happens to that incense is like this. When the incense is put on the fire, the moment it actually touches it, the fragrance from the incense leaves it instantly. Before you, it's the contrary. The impurities burn away in the fire. The good remains forever for the world to see. Once the vileness of the mind is burnt away, the mind will become pure. Once the Ganga's impurity is gone, then it is wholly naturally. The light of temptations I kindle most truly, from which may the luster of asceticism be granted to me, O Guruvara. The throne of pure faith I offer you as a seat. On receiving it, accept the offering of devotion. You partake the offerings of devotion, give me the essence. Because I am your child, I have a claim on your milk. My mind is my monetary offering that I offer to you. Therefore, the credit or discredit of any action will no longer be mine. Now, most humbly and devotedly, I do obeisance to you. Please accept it, O Divine Sainatha. Eightfold Prayer. Possessing peaceful mind and wisdom supreme, Sainath the Compassionate, you are the ocean of kindness, truth incarnate, and destroyer of the darkness of ignorance. The sage beyond caste and creed you are, beyond comprehension, compassion incarnate. Protect me, O Sainath of Shirdi. You are the sun of divine knowledge, the bestower of choicest blessings, O fabled Hamsa of the minds of the devotees, protector you are of those who surrender to you. You are Brahmadev, the creator of the world. You the sustainer of the world, Vishnu, the destroyer of the three worlds. You are that very Rudra. There is no place on this earth where you are not. Omniscient, O you Sainatha, you dwell in all our hearts. Forgive us all our sins, I implore you, and those waves of doubts and delusions repel instantly. You are the cow, I the calf. You are the moon, I the stone melted by its light. At your feet, which are like the Ganges, respectfully the slave bows down. Place on my head your hand and bless me, O Lord. Ward off my sorrow and worry, for this Ganu is your servant. With this eightfold prayer, I prostrate myself before you. My sins, sufferings, and poverty ward off immediately. You are the cow and I the calf. You are the mother and I the child. Do not harbor any harsh feelings towards me. You are the sandalwood tree from Malayagiri. I'm a thorny shrub. You are the sacred life-giving waters of Godavari. I, the greatest of sinners. If after having your darshan, the impurities of my wicked mind remain unchanged, Gururaya, who will then call you the sandalwood? The proximity of musk makes even the dust more valuable. The fragrance of flowers is transmitted to the thread which ties the garlands. This is the way of the great, Whosoever they come in touch with, to him they impart a part of their greatness. Sacred ashes, loincloth, and the bull, Shiva made symbolic parts of himself. Therefore, these objects are praised in all quarters. For the amusement of the cowherds at Vrindavan, on the banks of the Yamuna, the Lord of the world played Dahi Kala. That too has earned a recognition from wise men. Similarly, I am a sinner, but I am under your protection. Will you not redeem me, O Guruvara, from my sinful state? Worldly or spiritual, in whatever objects I seek satisfaction, I have no doubt, O Guruvara, that you will grant me these. With your grace, control my mind. If the oceans are sweetened, then there is no fear of their being salty. To make the ocean sweet, truly you have the power. Therefore, this supplication of thus, Ganu, please concede. Whatever be my shortcomings, they are all yours. You are the foremost among the spiritual masters, so do not stint while giving. Now why should I speak more? You are my only refuge. The child held in the mother's arms is naturally without fear. So be it, this hymn of praise. Whosoever reads it with love, their desires fulfill, O Lord. Your blessing for this hymn I entreat. May the difficulties of he who recites it sincerely be warded off within a year. After performing all ablutions, should this hymn be recited regularly with a pure and sincere feeling in your heart. If this is not possible, then every Thursday, meditating on the Satguru in your mind, this hymn should be recited. If even this is not possible, then on every Ekadashi, this hymn should be read to realize the beneficial effect. One who recites this with faith will ultimately progress spiritually by the grace of Guru, who will satiate the material desires readily and thereby deliver him from their bondage. With the repeated recitation of this hymn, dull wits will be sharpened, and if perchance someone's life is short, then by recitation he will live up to 100 years. Where wealth is wanting, Kuber, the Lord of wealth, himself will come to stay. On reading this hymn, this is the truth, and so it shall be. To the childless children will be born on reciting this hymn, and the ailments of one who recites this hymn will be dispelled in all directions. Fear and worry will disappear, prestige will increase. He will realize the imperishable Brahman with the regular recitation of this hymn. Regarding this hymn, O wise ones, have faith in your hearts about the efficacy of this hymn, and give no place to doubts and misconceptions. Go on pilgrimage to Shirdi, concentrate on the lotus feet of Baba, who is the succor of the poor and the meek, the wish-fulfilling tree for the devotees. It was because of the inspiration received from him that this hymn has been composed. How else could an insignificant, ignorant one like me have written it? In Shaka 1840, in the bright half of the Bhadrapad month, on Ganesh Chaturthi day, Monday in the second Prahar, this humble tribute of praise to Shri Sainath was completed at Maheshwara by the sacred bank of the Narmada, near Shri Ahilya Devi's Samadhi. At Maheshwara, the famous Tirtha, this hymn was completed. Shri Sainath made me utter every word by becoming part of my mind. The disciple Damodar became the scribe truly. I, thus, Ganu, am only an obedient servant of all the saints and sages. Peace be with you. May this humble tribute of praise to Shri Sainath help you cross the worldly ocean. This is the prayer with faith and respect of Das Ganu to Shri Panduranga. Let this be offered to Shri Harihara. Bless us, O Lord. Pundalik Varada. Hari Vittal. I recall Sita Kanta. Hail, hail Rama. Parvati Pati. Har Har Mahadev. Hail to Shri Satguru Sainath Maharaj. Shri Satguru Sainath. I offer this to you. Bless us, O Lord.